the dust has settled and Microsoft is clear to purchase Activision Blizzard after nearly 18 months of legal battles. So how will it impact the gaming industry? Namaskar friends, welcome to Illegal Desi. Let's start. If you like the video, then hit the like and subscribe button and share this video out to a friend. It helps the channel more than you know. Also, your feedback is appreciated down in the comments below. This week, a US court rejected a last-ditch attempt by the Federal Trade Commission to block the Microsoft Activision Blizzard merger. Furthermore, just yesterday morning, the 9th Sessions Court rejected a second appeal by the US FTC. That means that Microsoft is now free to close the merger, for which the end date was set on the 18th of July internally. I did make a video on it initially when the deal was announced, and you can find that video down in the comments below. But now, under these new circumstances, here is how the things stand for different parties. Xbox is obviously the biggest winner in this. Not only has it acquired over 20 studios, but has also acquired 30 IPs in the gaming industry, including Call of Duty, Diablo, Overwatch, World of Warcraft, StarCraft, and even Crash Bandicoot, which was created by Naughty Dog as a PlayStation mascot. It also gets to put its foot in the door into the mobile gaming sector with King and their game Candy Crush, as well as Call of Duty Mobile. Microsoft has still now been largely unsuccessful in mobile gaming, though it has made attempts with games like Forza Street in the past. Lastly, it gets accesses to the resource of Activision Publishing, whose last published game was Sekiro. That is in addition to their own XGS Publishing and Bethesda Publishing, making Microsoft one of the largest game publishers to exist. In addition, with some push, Microsoft might also be able to get all the 360 games from Activision running on Xbox and bring them to Game Pass. Activision currently has already been delisted from the New York Stock Exchange and is in the process of getting acquired by Microsoft. But it's not all smooth sailing at this one. The CMA block is still in place. However, since the court rejected the FTC motion, it seems they have eased down and are willing to work back with Microsoft to find a solution. Microsoft on their part have also been exploring their options, from divesting the cloud business to moving the entire ABK UK division out of the country. An article today itself stated that Microsoft may extend the last end date from 18th of July to a few weeks ahead in light of working back with UK CMA. PlayStation definitely shot itself in the foot with this one. It started with a letter from Jim Ryan asking Phil Spencer all existing agreements between Activision and Sony remain the way they are. All future Activision games also come to PlayStation, and the ask was for a way longer term than the 10 years Xbox proposed. Parity in subscription service, which can either mean all Activision games on PS Plus or no Activision game on Game Pass. There was also a hint that Jim Ryan wanted all future Bethesda games available on PlayStation. It appears that outside of Request 1, Xbox had absolutely no interest in negotiating further, and thus Sony rejected the 10-year offer Microsoft had for them and went on to complain to anyone and everyone who would listen. But it's not as bad as you think. Sony has an existing agreement with Activision on Call of Duty that extends to 2024. Post that, Microsoft has made the commitment to multiple regulators, including the EU and CMA, that it intends to bring Call of Duty to PlayStation. But Microsoft will have the advantage of not only bringing Call of Duty to Game Pass, but also removing all the advantages that PlayStation enjoyed. This included 1-year timed exclusivity on in-game content as well as DLCs, and promising in-game parity irrespective of platform. That means the same game with the same features and the same content across the board with zero advantages for PlayStation. There is an additional challenge with Sony clearly stating out that it is not comfortable with sharing development kits with Activision going forward. So the future of Call of Duty on PlayStation is now in the hands of Sony themselves and not Microsoft. Outside of Call of Duty, Microsoft has absolutely no obligation to bring any future Activision Blizzard game to PlayStation, be it a future Diablo, Warcraft, or even classics like Hexen, which Phil Spencer has been hinting ever since the acquisition was announced. But it might just be the kick that Sony needs. They have been doing very well for themselves, but more recently I felt they've been way too complacent. If I talk about some of the other parties that will be impacted by this, the first company that comes to mind is Nintendo. Microsoft has promised in a binding legal agreement that Nintendo will be granted access to Call of Duty on their platforms. It just might seem possible, considering the code documents revealed that a successor to Nintendo Switch could release as early as next year. Apart from that, many other cloud services such as GeForce Now, Boosteroid, Ubisoft have also signed separate agreements to get access to stream Xbox and Activision games on the cloud. For the PC gamers, the biggest change would be not relying on Battle.net, as Microsoft has promised all Activision Blizzard games on Steam. While an agreement was sent, Lord Gabe stated that it wasn't required because he trusts Microsoft on their word. For the PlayStation gamers, it might be a hit if a big chunk of what you play is only Call of Duty, so there don't seem to be any impact to Call of Duty till at least the 2024 version releases. But in the end, the ball is in Sony's court to decide how they want to proceed. For the small minority of Xbox gamers, it means you can expect to access the entire catalog, including the back catalog of Call of Duty from its start, and a lot of other Activision games, both created and published to be on Game Pass. And now for the biggest impact, the mobile gaming. Earlier I mentioned that Microsoft has had an agreement with Ubisoft to bring cloud games to their platforms. It is key to note that Ubisoft has an agreement with Reliance Jio to bring their library to the Jio Games app, which means that it can potentially also bring the vast catalog of Microsoft games directly to your phone. So there you have it, guys, the entire fallout of the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal and what it means for us going forward. I hope you like this video, guys, and I will see you in the next one.